Our Marvel superheroes have fought some pretty great threats over the years. They've gone up against magic wielders, a giant purple dried out raisin, hell, even recently taken on a red Indiana Jones. But now they tackle truly the toughest challenge yet: depression. I already gave you a review on the Thunderbolts, now it's time to spoil it. Let's begin. Florence Pugh, and probably some other people, I was pretty much just focused on her, stars in Thunderbolts, the 2025 Marvel version of the Suicide Squad. And I'm here for it. I had a very good time with this movie. I appreciate that it's a little unconventional. There's still plenty of pew pew and Florence Pugh Pugh and boom boom. But we also have a story that's a little bit more thoughtful. It requires a little bit more nuance than just punching something really hard, because our team is very outmatched when they finally meet their foe. Before I get to that, if you find yourself enjoying the commentary, hit the subscribe and the notification bell. That way more of me shows up in your feed. It's free of charge, it costs you nothing, but maybe like half a second to hit it. But that's all you need to do. Hit it and quit it, and I'll show up further. I put out movie reviews, commentary, live streams every single week. Would love to have you stick around. All right, let's dive in, and let it be known, I don't look up any of this information as far as the plot details. I'm going off the old noggin, and so there's gonna be mistakes. I'm gonna get some things wrong from time to time, and believe me, when I do, the comments have zero issues pointing them out. But what I would like to think separates me from the other tens of thousands of channels out there is that I share my thoughts with you going through the film like a buddy after just watching the film. I mean, I don't actually know you, so please don't be a serial killer. It could get awkward really fast for me. All right, I'm gonna begin with what I think is the beginning of the movie, and that's our hero of the film, Yelena. She doesn't believe she's a hero. In fact, she's done a lot of bad things, but she's trying to make amends. She's like Wreck-It Ralph. She's a bad guy, but that doesn't mean she needs to be a bad guy. This is the level of insightful commentary I bring to the table, by the way. Anyway, she is doing a mission. She's really just going through the motions at this point. She doesn't even care what the assignment is. She just knows what she has to do, and she gets it done. And might I point out, the direction in this opening was pretty damn good. I love how she's narrating this. She's bored. She barely even seems present in telling us what's going on in her life. And some of the shots are pretty creative. I love the top-down view of her taking out a hallway full of bad guys. The shot never changes. You know, you get the bird's eye once in a while, but it stays there. Just gives us a more interesting perspective as she does the spins over the backs of people, takes out her little energy blaster, whips out a baton, and then finishes people off with a couple shots to the head. And unlike Suicide Squad, there's no pop music accompanying this. Limp Bizkit's Nookie isn't playing over the top of this section of film. Yeah, I did it all for the Nookie. Come on. We find out Yelena is working with Valentina. Valentina played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Love her in this movie. Love her in everything she's ever been in. She comes to an agreement with her boss, Elaine from Seinfeld, that if she does one more job, it's typically how these things go, she's going to be rewarded by coming out of the shadows and in the public eye. She wants to be seen as a hero and not some nobody behind the scenes. Valentina plays ball, but she actually has other plans. She's gonna be our Amanda Waller of the film, the government good guy who does a bunch of sketchy, illegal things. Little does Yelena know that she's being set up because Valentina's being investigated. They want to shut her down, possibly impeach her ass. And so she needs to make a bunch of dirt go away real quick, and the fastest way to do it is to make the trash clean itself up. So she invites all of her assassins to one location and gives them missions to kill off each other without them knowing it. It's pretty smart, but it does backfire. It backfires because they realize what she's doing and decide instead of killing each other, they're gonna team up after killing off Taskmaster, of course. The worst kept secret death of the film, when she died, when our Taskmaster was killed off after like 5 seconds of screen time, I don't think there was a single shocked person in the audience. Like, oh, what? No, really? First off, the Taskmaster character in the MCU sucked already. I don't know if she even talked in Black Widow. She was a brainwashed Red Room soldier, and here she gets even less to do. A couple of action moves, and then boom, shot in the head. I think that's one of the most unintentionally funny parts about this movie. All of these characters go there trying to kill each other, but then realize they have value, and they form a bit of a bond together, never once mentioning the fact that they freaking killed one of the people right away. I wonder if there's any reflecting on that, like, it turns out we were all kind of just troubled young souls looking for each other. I wonder what the backstory was with the woman in the mask. This action scene they get in is very well choreographed. It looks great. No notes here. And when it's done, they find out there's another mystery guest in the room, Bob. Doesn't have any idea how he got here, not sure why he's there to begin with. But as the movie progresses, we'll find out. He went under a series of secret operations that are going to turn him into a superhuman. And it turns out, to Valentina's surprise, it worked. You see, the reason he was actually there, along with the others, is that they were supposed to be burnt to a crisp as this building seals itself up and the fires start to blow. But before the incinerator can get them, one of them finds a way to like hack shit or cut a wire or, whatever superheroes do. And they manage to make it out after a comical scene where the Emperor's New groove their ass up this super long silo using the back-to-back buddy system, crab walking their asses up. John Walker, who is the budget Captain America, was my second favorite in this movie to, of course, Yolana, who's perfect. He bitches up a storm throughout this movie, and I think it's hilarious. All right, so eventually they get out of there only to find themselves outside and face to face with a bunch of soldiers. This is Bobby's time to shine. The dude's basically Neo from The Matrix. He's stopping bullets in midair. He's taking shots. He flies up into the sky at one point before crashing down because he overexerted himself. I've been there. I think we've all been there. The rest of the team did not stick around for this. They took off, thunderbolting straight into the desert and as far away from these people as they can get. And that's where they're going to meet up with Bucky Barnes. Bucky, played by Sebastian Stan, does his best Tom Cruise from Mission Impossible 2, complete with long, flowing hair, takes out a couple of the pursuing vehicles, and then blowing up the ridiculous limo that these guys are in. How did they get in a limo? Well, that's because the Red Guardian showed up. That's right, Yolana's father's in the mix now too. He runs a limo service for the stars. This is where his life has brought him to, so things aren't going great on his end either. He found out through one of his back channels that Yolana was in trouble. He knows it's a setup, so he takes off for the location and finds them along the way. All right, now that I caught you up, let's go to the warehouse where Bucky has these guys. Bucky is a senator, I think, or something. It doesn't really matter. He doesn't do much with it. He was going to turn these guys over, but he's got a lady on the inside. I think her name is Mel. She's like Valentina's right-hand lady, secretary, whatever you want to call her. Kind of had a character arc, and then she disappeared before the credits rolled. I don't know what happened to her, to be honest with you. She's just kind of gone at some point. But as this story unfolds, she continues to call Bucky with a little bit of information at a time, acting as his mole on the inside. And since he has this whole ragtag crew together, it was the perfect time for him to find out that they're telling the truth. Bob has these crazy abilities. He can fly. Valentina has some super secret program she's been working on where she can make these insane super people. Essentially, Bob is a more well-adjusted Homelander, which says very little about either of them. Now, I am running pretty fast and loose with this plot synopsis. I should point out that even though there has been a lot of action going on and the movie is rolling at a very good clip, we have taken a few scenes at this point to settle down and have some heart-to-hearts. Yolana mainly being the psychiatrist of the group. She's going to have one-on-one conversations with a few of the different members, including her father and Bob himself earlier, talking about a troubled history they have, regrets in their lives, and this might turn some of the audience off that's just looking for punching and kicking and explosions. I found it to be refreshing to find a group of characters that's reflecting on some of their terrible choices, because this is a group of people that's done some bad shit in the past. And they're all kind of lost in the void of life. And speaking of void, that's next up on this list. After Bob had his little hissy fit, he fell back down to Earth. Valentina was able to scoop him up and bring him back to headquarters where they can do some more testing on him and see what's really going on under the hood. And while she's there with him, she talks about how precious he is. He is special. He's a unique snowflake. He's not some discarded toy. He's basically a god now. And he can do some really great good for once. He's into it. She changes his hairstyle and gives him this really fucking ugly suit. The golden suit's bad, but he's not going to wear it too long before it turns corruption dark. But before he even has the opportunity to take to the skies and show people how special he is, the Thunderbolts, asterisk, show up. Now, some of you might be wondering where this name came from. Don't worry, the movie tells you. Yolana was on a soccer team back in the day. They lost every game. They were trash, but they were scrappers. They were fighters, and she had a great time Great camaraderie, great community. And I guess that's maybe what they're forming again. These Thunderbolts asterisk are the underdogs. They can't fly. They don't have laser beams. They don't have magic. Some of them are super soldiers, yes. One of them is a trained assassin going through the Red Room program. So yeah, they have skill. You know, Ghost can go invisible for a couple seconds. So it's not a bad resume. It's just not God of Thunder or Scarlet Witch. Oh wait, she's bad now and dead. Until she's not at some point later. We'll keep going. They roll up to Yelana's new headquarters, which is the old Avengers Tower, getting a refurbishing, and they meet the new Bob. They try to reason with him, talk things out. He's hearing none of it. We get a pretty awesome fight where he's Supermaning around the room, picking people up, throwing them, really putting up zero effort either. He could kill them with the snap of the finger, but he's refraining because Bob's not a killer. That's the other thing that makes this movie a little bit different, a little bit more interesting. We don't have this evil villain. This isn't a black and white scenario. This guy's very much in the gray. All right, he's fighting demons internally. He has had a lifetime of misery growing up in an abusive household, raised on the streets, experimented on later in life. And while he did share a nice afternoon with the new group of people, that's not enough to convince him. And so he kicks the shit out of him for a little bit, and then he takes to the sky. And this is where things get a little wild, as he just looks down at the folks scrambling away and goes, just starts taking them out, picking them off. They cease to exist. Nothing left but a trail of their figure on the ground. As this is going on, the Thunderbolts, of course, race down to the streets, and this feels a lot like an Avengers film where each one gets their little hero moment, saving individual folks, blocking debris, holding up a cement slab, until all collectively come into the same conclusion that, yeah, there's no way we can stop this dude, at least not the way we have in the past. Yelana sees the darkness unfolding throughout the city, and she just walks right into it. It's time to take it head on. The commentary here, of course, obviously being, hey, you can only run from your demons for so long before you have to confront them and say, enough is enough. It's time for change. It's time for me to become a better version of myself. And so the rest of the movie, the last 20 or so minutes, is going to be a sequence of Yelana fighting through her past projections. The main one being when she's a little child on her first mission and a young girl is killed because of her. She'll repeat this a few times before opening a door and falling into another scenario. This is all very well executed, very trippy, it looks great. And then the rest of the team eventually will also go into this nightmare fuel, fighting off their own projections. Ultimately ending up in front of Bob, being experimented on in the distance. Yelana and the rest of the team do some cool jumping. Zzz, they're spinning over stuff. Things are flying by as they scramble to get to Bob. And eventually, give him exactly what he needs. Good old bear hug. A good old Bob hug, really. They all form around him, tighten that hold, and they snap him out of his trance. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was slightly bummed out. We didn't get a Scar Joe cameo. Not even a little hint of a Black Widow appearance. Come on! I gotta have some ScarJo in this movie, but no. But ScarJo's a no-show. It was a no-go. I don't know why I'm rhyming. Let's keep going. After pulling Bob out of the void, everyone comes back. He didn't kill a single person. I mean, not by doing that. I'm sure he killed people when he threw a crane into a building and maybe earlier when he had his first fit with all those soldiers around. I'm sure there's a couple deaths here and there, but for the most part, no. We got out of this one pretty clean. But before the team can celebrate, Valentina's just over yonder, right in front of a construction area. They thunderbolt over to her. I think I already said that once in this video, but I'm a hack, so let's keep going. And she's like, hey, you guys got me, but could you just come around the corner with me here? Could we just come together around the corner? They open the curtain and follow her, only to see a giant paparazzi on the other side. You got reporters there. We have government officials. It's a big production that was already pre-planned. Because Valentina's a survivor, friends. She knows how to make a blunder into an opportunity. And this is the point where she announces that she has secretly been working on a project called the New Avengers Initiative. And this is the new team she has formed. That's right. The Thunderbolts asterisk is actually the New Avengers. That's the big bombshell. And I gotta tell you, not a great team, but it's a fun one. And it's one that I enjoyed in this movie. Even Ghost, who is still really lame, has a cool power, and they did some fun action scenes with her. So she'll get better. I thought the budget Captain America was really fun. I liked his anger. I liked some of his smart-ass comebacks. Yelena, my everything. I love her. And I pointed this out in my other review, but Alexei, aka the Red Guardian, kind of just a walking catchphrase generator. A lot of the stuff he said in this was just over the top, kind of cringe. Not a lot of seriousness to the character like there was in Black Widow. Hopefully they can pull that back a little bit in further installments. Yeah, but this is the new Avengers. And we do jump ahead a little bit and find out that not even the civilians are impressed with these people. The name's not really sticking. They're not seeing the glory that the previous Avengers had. Bob's part of the team as well. Taskmaster, still dead. Never mentioned. Nobody talks about Taskmaster ever again. Shot early on, no mention. And I think that's it. I hope I didn't miss anything major. There are a couple of end credit scenes. The first one just being this cringe-induced one where Red Guardian has Avengers gear on. He's drinking a Slurpee or something. Not great. But then we get a distress signal. They look on the screen and boom, entering the Earth's atmosphere, the Fantastic Four. Which is the next movie coming out in the MCU. I was already pretty interested in that one. I think it looks solid. Now I'm actually more excited for it. This was a great little hype tease for that movie. I can't wait for them to join the rest of the MCU proper because they're in a different multiverse bullshit universe thing. And obviously what's going to happen is their planet's going to get messed up, something fierce, and they're going to flee it or they're going to leave it for whatever reason and head to the universe Earth proper. I forgot the numbers that's associated. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm talking about. That was the second end credit scene. I just remember the first one was just like a gag where the Red Guardian's walking in a grocery store and he sees a Wheaties box and he sees a fellow shopper walk by. So obviously he's trying to brag about it. He's like, hey, look at that. That's a pretty cool Wheaties box. I can't do the voice. Well, maybe I can. It's ridiculous. So maybe that worked. Anyway, that's Thunderbolts. Asterisk, aka the new Avengers. Not a bad little flick. You got some good action, you got some practical stunt work going on, it looks visually pleasing, the story moves well, it's got a little bit of layer, a little bit of commentary to it. I like watching some broken characters find some solace in one another, form a team. This feels like it's got some energy behind it, a little bit of momentum going into the new MCU phase. So I'm in. It did its job. Let me know, though, what you thought about the film if you saw it. Or maybe I'm saying some things that sound like they could be kind of good and maybe you should check it out or just live vicariously through me. Either way is fine. Let me know. Leave a comment. Like the video. Again, think of subscribing, hitting that notification bell. And hopefully, I'll catch you next time. Take care. Thanks again for watching the video. If you wouldn't mind, I would appreciate it if you checked out patreon.com/AdamDoesMovies. That's where fans of my channel go to help support it. There are different tiers with different offerings, exclusives every month. We got multiple movie reviews. There's a vlog monthly. And even if you don't want to plop down $1 a month, you can just sign up for Patreon for free and become a member at no charge. Appreciate your time. Thanks.